Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again. Welcome to another live stream. Yeah, back-to-back days. This is the another DC animated movie. This one's a little bit shorter than the one from yesterday. This is Justice League: Gods and Monsters from the 2010s. This one 2015. This was a couple years earlier, and it's 76 minutes long. So let's get started. This should be a quick one. hmm It's not as. Wait, let me get the. I don't want to get the. I don't want to stop the podcast after 8 seconds. We just started. There's the sun and the planet. Is that Krypton? Yeah, I think so. hmm And they think that these movies are for kids. They're not. They're PG-13. That means they're not for kids. Some of them are, like Justice League Dark and Injustice and all that. They're all dark. Hi, nice. Hey, Spidey. Different voice cast too. Here you got Benjamin Bratt, Michael C. Hall, and Tamara Taylor. And this animation is more traditional DC animation than the one in Batman Ninja. I love how adult these animated movies are. It's Eminence. The voice actors, they really do a good job. Yeah, most of the time they do. In the Super Pets movie, it was hit and miss because the voices of the animals were fine. They were not a problem for me mostly. It was it was some of the Justice League voices that they had that I was like, no, I don't care. I really don't. I know Josh is upset about. He's like, my list of 2025. There's movies I'm looking forward to. Yes, they have cast members I don't like, but that comes with the territory in any movie now. What movie has had a perfect cast that nobody bothered me? Not since the Avengers, guys. Because every MCU movie has one actor I don't care for, or a DCU movie, or an animated film from Pixar or DreamWorks. There's always somebody I don't care about. It just comes with the territory. I'm biased. If you have an accent I don't understand, get out of my face. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to dwell on it today. It's a new day. There's the baby. hmm He's entering Earth's atmosphere. hmm He's awake. Directed by Sam Liu, an Asian man. Superman Legacy is actually my most anticipated film for next year, mainly because there's no other DC movies coming out next year, and because the Batman 2 got pushed to 2026, and animated wise, it's probably going to be some, but I'm saying theatrically released live action films, not anything animated. Because really, there's nothing animated I'm really looking forward to next year. There's Elio, the next Pixar movie, but I don't know what that's about. Because Superman is very important to me. I haven't seen him in the big screen since Batman v Superman. Well, yeah, I'll say that because Justice League, he's barely in it. Either cut, the theatrical cut or the Snyder cut, he's not in it that much. I'm seeing where he's the lead in the movie. Yeah, it's been almost 10 years. Because Man of Steel, I skipped it in the theater, and everybody got out of my case. I'm like, well, I don't care. It was boring. Here's Lex Luthor. And again, these are two Spanish people adopting Clark, so it's not the same storyline. It's a different timeline because Thomas and Martha Wayne weren't not Thomas and Martha Wayne. That's Batman. Uh, Ma and Pa Kent, Jonathan and Martha Kent did not. They weren't Mexican. This is a different Justice League. Open fire. I don't have a podcast to do. I always have a podcast to do. I just have to find a day and a time to do it, whether day or night. Today I had to do it in the daytime because at night I have to keep the windows closed. They're spraying pesticides for to keep mosquitoes away. Good morning, John. This movie still holds up 9 years later. Yeah, the animation is more traditional, but it's well done and it's more adult. They think that because it's animated is for kids. No, it's not. There's D, there's DC projects for children like the Super Pets movie and Lego Batman, but then there's stuff for adults like this Joker and the Batman is more for adults and the Penguin, which is coming out later this year. Ooh, crushed. Captain Cold. People thought I hated DC because of what happened. Hey, it's not my fault that their cinematic universe is dead. That's why Josh is so hurt about it. Because it's like Wonder Woman, I'm never going to see her again. They're going to recast her and do it different this time. Same thing with Batman and Superman and the Flash. They have to recast because some of these people were criminals. Yeah, some of these people were criminals that were in the DCEU. That's what James Gunn wants to avoid this time. Cast people that are normal, people that have not committed crimes, people that are not out of their mind, people that are not queer. I'm sorry, I can't have to say it right to your face. This is a Batman that bites people's necks like a vampire. You don't need that in any universe. I'm sorry. Your sexuality doesn't matter on screen because people don't care. In this world, we're supposed to be conservative, not, oh, we have to accept everybody. Why? Why? There's certain people in my life I don't want. That's just how it is. I've said that many times. They're never going to cast a hobo in the MCU or DCU movie because they know she ruined Star Wars. Orgasmic. We're almost 10 minutes in. Look at all this happen. Some of the dialogue is a little bit cringe here. That's one thing I don't like about this film. Hmm. Also, Tamara, yeah, the voice of the Wonder Woman here is voiced by a black woman, a black Canadian woman. See, and nobody threw a hissy fit about it. Hell, Benjamin Bratt is Hispanic and he's voicing Superman. Doesn't bother me, guys. Race does not bother me. It's what comes out of your mouth that's going to bother me. Yeah, I mean, this is a Superman that speaks Spanish for some reason. That doesn't make any sense to me. Superman has never been played by a Hispanic. Never. In any timeline, in any storyline, in except here. Because the new Superman is a Jewish man. He's not a British guy, which is a huge plus for me. David Corn Sweat, he's gonna be a much better Superman and less dark and sociopathic than Henry Cavill. At least he doesn't have to at least he doesn't have to hide an accent for 2 hours. That's a huge plus. Nicholas Holt is, but I don't care about Nicholas Holt, guys. You know me. I don't care. Just don't be terrible like Jesse Eisenberg in Batman v Superman. I'm seeing this now because I'm not seeing anything for Hispanic Heritage Month. I don't care, guys. It's just something I have to live with, but I don't acknowledge it because I don't. It's not even an official real language. It's not even official. It's not like Black History Month or Asian Month or something like that. I don't care. Indigenous people were here first, not Hispanics, not white people. The Native Americans and Native Canadians were here first. Some of the dialogue is cringe here. I remember it from a couple of years ago when I bought this at the dollar store. And I'm like, yeah, good animation, good voice acting, but some of the dialogue is just a bit preachy or just kind of like, ugh. I'm just, it's just not for me. The plot is fine. It's easy to follow. We're 12 minutes in. Look at that. It's not working, dude. Mm-hmm. Because parents that took their kids to see Deadpool and Wolverine, if it's violent, what do you expect? That's Victor Freeze, Mr. Freeze. Look at that little horse. It's cute. There were horses that small and during prehistoric times. They were like this small. Oh, that's Ray Palmer, the Atom. I like him. And I also like Atom Smasher, a very underrated DC character. At least I didn't have to make him queer or something. You don't need that, guys. It's not telling a story. If someone's sexuality has to tell a story, then you're doing it wrong. In Booksmart, I could not care less if Amy in the movie was gay or not because Caitlin Deaver's desirable no matter what you paint her as. Yeah, I'm sorry. She's the most desirable girl with a nose like that I've ever seen in my life, guys. Oh, this is a scary image. At least I cared about Caitlin Deaver in Booksmart. I did, and I still do. I did a podcast for that, so I told Josh I can do anything. Nothing is holding me back. Not my mind, not the weather, nothing. Nothing is holding me back. I pick a movie, I set a time, and I do it. There is nothing that's going to scare me. Run horses, run. I don't want them to kill horses. I will shut it off if they did that. Animals need to be free. They don't need to be in cages. and locked up like they're prisoners. They were made first. Again, I know, guys. I know about creation. Uh oh, his cell went off. Again, shut your phone off. Behind you. Oh, they ate the horse. One of the horses got eaten. It's a really dark movie, man. I chose a real doozy, didn't I? eHarmony. I don't think people use that anymore. A robot. He's dead now. Hmm. Yeah, we're 16 minutes in. It's not hard to make a decision. When you have a mind like mine, I can make a decision like that. I don't need to hold back. I had to cancel some podcasts because, again, I only have so much free time. And I want to go out tomorrow. So, no podcast tomorrow. I, hey, Network 98. Good day. There's that thing again. Hmm. Is that Cyborg? Yeah, that's probably him when he's a kid. Lois. Of course, he's not your boyfriend. He's Kryptonian. Again, did I mention the dialogue is kind of cringe for me here? Do you think Eternals is still the worst? Yes. Nothing is going to top that. No matter what happens with Fantastic Four next year or Thunderbolts, they can't measure up to how bad that movie was because that movie was 2.5 hours I'll never get back. Plus, I didn't care about anybody in that movie. Nobody. Even good actors were wasted, like Kamel Nanjiani and Angelina Jolie. Wasted. And it was boring. How could you make an MCU movie boring? Oh, yeah. Have a bunch of actors you don't care about, 15 of them doing stuff that I've seen the Justice League do, or Power Rangers, or the Avengers. It was just, it was painful. I wasn't crazy about Black Widow, but at least Scarlett Johansson and David Harbour got me through that, at the very least. I think Michael C. Hall does the best voice here. Yeah, this Superman is just like he's in a Matrix movie or something, or Blade, physics department. And them killing off major characters here just doesn't make any sense to me. Feige was like, since No Man Land won Best Picture, we'll get the director of that. I'm like, why? She's worse than Ang Lee. I didn't like Ang Lee's Hulk, but it's not 2.5 hours, guys. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes, but it's still shorter. It's focused on one character, not 15. That's the problem that the writers did. They wanted us to care about 15 characters with superpowers that are OP, and I'm like, I don't care about you. I don't care because you had Icarus and Cersei and freaking the redheaded girl and Druid, and you had Angelina Jolie's character, and you had Gilgamesh, and you had the freaking you had Kumail Nanjiani's character, and you had what I forgot. There's so many characters in that movie that you don't care about. You got Salma Hayek. You have the gay Wad. There's too many characters. Too many. You know why Spider Into the Spider Verse worked? It didn't have. It had like 8 main characters, not 50 in the first Spider Verse, because you had Miles, Gwen, Penny Parker, and a robot, and Film Noir Spider Man, Spider Ham, and Peter B. Parker. That's all you needed. That's 6 characters, not 30. Like I said, guys, less is more. You can't develop more than 8 characters in 2.5 hours. It just doesn't work unless you're Lord of the Rings or something. And nobody cares about the Eternals. Nobody. They're the worst Marvel team I've ever seen in any of the iterations I've seen. The X-Men in 10 different storylines are better than them because they're more relatable. Okay, we're 23 minutes in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the director, just because a director won an Oscar like Ang Lee did, doesn't mean that he should be directing a superhero movie. Just saying, guys. I mean, that's why Nolan did. He did superhero movies before he won an Oscar. You need to drive me. Bat Venom. Not everybody should be a voice actor. Just what I'm saying. And also, 2.5 hours. The first Avengers wasn't 2.5 hours, guys. They didn't get to that until they got to like Infinity War. But by then, we were already invested. You can't make your first team movie 2.5 hours. It's not going to work. It's padding. It's padding. There's so much padding in that movie. I didn't just see a sex scene that's PG-13. I didn't just see two grown men kissing. It's gross. It's not for me. I wanted to walk out of the theater after that. It didn't need to be in the film. I enjoy Quantumania and Marvels. They're not great, but they're still better than the Marvel, and they're still better than the Eternals. They're not 2.5 hours. Hell, the Marvels is the shortest MCU movie at 95 minutes. Quantumania was about an hour and 50, not 2.5 hours. That's a lot to sit in the theater to sit, to watch. I still think Batman Ninja is a better movie. It's less cringe. This one, like I said, some of the dialogue is cringe. Is underrated. Quantumania is okay at best. Yeah, I know, Josh. I know how you're going to say. But next year, I'm not looking for Captain America to be the greatest thing ever. You're not going to top no MCU movie for a while. Will top Deadpool and Wolverine. Sorry, nothing will, because you cannot rob me of that joy that I had in the theater. This moment that he started dancing to Bye Bye Bye, I was invested. I'm like, the rest of the movie could have sucked, and I still would have thought that opening would have been the best thing. Yeah. No other MCU movie had a thing like that. The closest was Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'm not a Chris Pratt fan anymore. He's a traitor. He opens his mouth too much. Yeah, that's a problem in Hollywood. If you open your mouth and you say the wrong thing, you're grass. Mm-hmm. I like this film, but do I need to own it? I'm probably going to donate it after this. I just don't think it's one of my favorite Justice League movies, mainly because it doesn't have the Flash. There's no Cyborg. There's no there's no Green Lantern. There's none of that. Deadpool was an elite movie. Yeah, it was an event. It wasn't just another MCU movie. This movie was an event, just like No Way Home was, just like Endgame was, just like Far From Home was. These were events. We could never see that on Disney Plus. Even Multiverse of Madness, I give it that. It was an event. It just didn't make a billion because you had a gay character in it. Why? You didn't need that. America Chavez could have been straight or not or asexual. You don't need to. Asexual is not a crime, guys. It's just people that don't procreate. I get it, whatever. But making the character gay adds nothing. It doesn't. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't make them interesting. It just makes them effeminate and boring. Sorry. The actress that plays her is fine, but I don't need to know that she has two mothers. That should be legal. And it is. When they put gay characters in a movie, it hurts the box office. Ask anybody that saw Bros 2 years ago. I didn't because I'm not gay. That's why Booksmart only made 25 million. Society is not ready for the LGBT to take over this world because it will never happen. Heterosexuality will live forever. It's without procreation, there's no reason to live. There's no reason to be with somebody else. That's that's why we have to grow as a society. This is a decent film. I just don't think it's not one of my favorite Justice League films. Yeah, I just prefer the red and yet blue suit. There's not really anybody to root for in this movie. That's the thing. Compared to the other Justice League movie. Lightyear and Turning Red was so average. Yeah, I liked Lightyear. I'm gonna review it in. I'll review it in July in September because I'm not doing a theme for that. but it could have been better. It could have been like Toy Story, the prequel, and it was. This movie didn't put a Spanish language in the Beetle. Actually, there's some Spanish in this movie, heterosexual guy, for some reason, because in this version, Superman, Clark Kent he's adopted by a Mexican family. Why? I don't know. They don't even show him. They show them for like 5 seconds and then they're gone. They're running from the government, of course. That's what happened in Blue Beetle. I didn't need Blue Beetle be played by a Hispanic. The original Blue Beetle was a white guy. They just did it ethnic so that they could get the ethnic crowd, and the movie still flopped. See, we don't care. Us Americans don't care about representation in everything. It doesn't need to be in everything, guys. You don't have to force it. Mario didn't do that. It didn't. John Leguizamo's like, oh, this Mario movie, it sucks because there's no representation. I'm like, Kamek and Toad are voiced by black guys, and they don't dwell on it. They didn't dwell on it. And also Peach is voiced by a Hispanic. But it's not, they didn't ethnic her up. You don't need to do that. You could keep it simple. Because when they do that, it feels like it's pandering. Making a character a certain race just to fit your quota, that's not for me, guys. I don't need myself to be represented in a movie. Just saying. At least not the Hispanic side of me. I don't need it. It's not necessary. Miles is as far as you're going to get. I don't like this version of Superman. I don't like the way he looks. And then these movies, they either don't put subtitles like in this movie, or they put them in Blue Beetle. But I'm like, I don't want to read DC. Nobody wants to read. Hell, there was Spanish in the Flash too because they have to make Nora Allen a Hispanic. I'm like, this isn't even in the comics. I'm sorry. When was Barry half Spanish? He was never half Spanish in the comics or in the animated series, or in the 1990 show or the 2014 show. I meant, I don't get it. It's forced. I'm not stupid, DC. We get it. This world is vast with different kinds of people. I just don't need to see it in my comic book movies or shows. Hmm. Is that Amanda Waller? This doesn't feel like a Justice League movie. It feels like something else, like Injustice. What also annoyed me about the DCU is that most of the movies are way too long. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh my God, Batman v Superman, the theatrical cut was too long, and then the extended cut is like we had 30 minutes of extended scenes that don't really add anything to the running time. Yeah, too long. A lot of them were too long. The first Shazam was fine, but the first Wonder Woman could have been cut. Like the ending could have been trimmed. Uh, Aquaman loved the first one, but it was too long. The Snyder cut is way too long. Wonder Woman 1984 too long. You could have cut two characters out. The second Aquaman, it's fair. Um, what else? Suicide Squad, too long. The first one and the second one. You don't need to put 50 characters, guys. Like I said, James Gunn was trolling us when he did the sequel because half of the characters die. So what was the point of them coming back or introducing them? Oh, yes, to subvert your expectations. Yeah, I'm tired of that. Deadpool Wolverine subverted my expectations because I was hyped, but I was even more hyped when I saw the cameos. And of course, Josh had to spoil it. I'm like, Josh, for Agatha, do not post any spoilers or it's over. No spoilers for Agatha or Joker, Folia Do, or the Penguin. Those need to stay away from your channel. If you review it, no spoilers, please. Don't spoil it because there's still more stuff I'm looking forward to this year without people spoiling it. Ninja Turtles, I haven't been spoiled, or Batman Cape Crusader because I don't like to be spoiled because then it ruins the experience for me. Peacemaker, that happened with the last episode. in the first season they spoiled the ending. Why? Because people can't keep them. You got to stay away from social media when something big comic book, property comes out. You have to stay away. Because I need some water. I'm not watching Rebel Moon. I saw Rebel Moon, both parts. I haven't seen the extended cut because I'm like, Snyder, if you need to make a movie an hour longer to progress the story, you're doing it wrong. Sorry. You don't need 3 hours to tell a good story. Ask Joss Whedon. You didn't spoil Deadpool Wolverine, but you are, Josh, for people that haven't seen it. Everyone else did, but I'm like, you got to avoid the internet when Joker comes out. I don't want to know who shows up at the end. See it by yourself. Don't tell me a thing. I'm not seeing it till after Comic-Con. I said it right here and now. I'm not seeing Joker Folia do the weekend it comes out, so don't spoil it, please. Because that's the only DC movie I have to see in the theater this year. Live action. You know I don't spoil things, but don't post things that are spoilers in the fall, please. This is the only warning I'm going to give to any guy, any person here. Don't spoil what I want to see. You want to spoil Fallout or Borderlands? I don't care, but not something I care about. Sonic 3, same thing. I'm not going to be on if that comes out this year, I'm avoiding spoilers like the plague. That's how you don't get spoiled. Because if I went to see Deadpool Wolverine and I knew that Chris Evans was not Cap, he was a Human Torch, it would have blew the movie for me. Because that was the first reveal of the film in the void. I'm not going to say anything else. Thanks. No spoilers. You don't need it. Spoilers have been on the internet since Phantom Menace came out. When I saw Phantom Menace in the theater, someone was like, oh, by the way, Qui-Gon Jinn dies. And I'm like, oh, damn it. I wanted to know that on my own. As long as you don't beat up a girl, they're not going to beat up a girl. It's got my interest. Everyone has seen Deadpool 3. They're fine, so I'm allowed to do so. Sonic 3, don't do it. Because if you say, oh, this person shows up or this creature, it's going to ruin the movie for me. I want to find that out myself. Trailers already spoil enough. I don't need the movie to be spoiled. Yeah, trailers, they have to show teaser, then the second teaser, then the final trailer, and they show too much. You don't need to spoil things. So the internet is filled with that. For the past 25 years, they use a computer to put information before the movie even comes out. I'm sick of spoilers. When Rogue One came out, I wanted to read spoilers because I didn't care. But if I care, don't spoil it. I have spoken. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. This movie, I like it, but it's not as rewatchable as the other Justice League movie. Because, again, who am I supposed to root for? The humans are not the main characters here. All right. Dark Side. Now I feel like I'm watching another movie. There's beautiful red hair, Josh. I know you love that. That's not. This is not the Wonder Woman. This is not Diana Prince. It's somebody else because she has red hair, and Diana has black hair, dark black hair. Her hair's pretty. I would love to see Karen play this character or something because she's done Marvel already, and I would love to see that gorgeous hair in something else. And I do, Josh. When it comes to hair, I do not discriminate. I don't care what color your hair is. If you have soft hair, I'm going to touch it. It's just something I can't resist. I see trailers to see if I can see it or not. Yeah, one trailer, not 4 of them. Even if they play tricks on me, don't ruin Superman for me. Yeah, I just need to see a trailer next year. I don't need to see it when I see the Joker. That's beautiful red hair. Because when she's wearing the helmet, I can't see the hair that much. Studio Squad ruined by good trailers. Yeah, it wasn't even a good trailer. I was just like, yeah, this looks like a rainbow color Guardians of the Galaxy. Agatha, I don't want it spoiled either. Even though it's not WandaVision, I still want to see the storyline unfold. No spoilers. So I'm not going to be on Facebook when it comes out September 18th. Not at all. If you don't see me posting, you know why. I'm avoiding spoilers like a plague. Because as soon as you get to the Facebook timeline, bam, this happens. I'm like, let me see what her name is. Becca. What's her name? Becca. This is well. So some of the dialogue is cringe. Not the romance. I'm just saying, like, Becca. Let me see who. Becca in the comics is not even a redhead. She's a brunette. Let me see here. She's of the new. That's nice. See, Becca, known as Wonder Woman, is a new god of New Genesis who fled Earth after her family destroyed Darkseid's forces at their wedding in Orion. She's cute. Yeah, she has red hair. Karen would be a good Becca. Hmm. See, there's a lot of heroes that redheaded Wonder Woman. Yeah, again, her. It's not Diana Prince. It's a different version. I think she's probably the most attractive of the three ones. Oh, these this Justice League. Yeah, look at that face. Because Jessica Chastain's too old for the role. I would say that her or has a nice voice too. Tamara Taylor. See, she's voiced by a black girl, and they never say it's woke. Mm-hmm. Granny Goodness or whatever her name is. Yeah. Becca is with two K's. It's spelled like this. That's how you spell it. Yeah, Fan Four Stick. No, that's still the worst version. And there's nothing that's gonna top that. The new one won't be as bad as that. Also, he's related to somebody evil. You have to kill him. You know the hobo was related to the grandfather, right? To the emperor, and it was stupid. I think she's a good character. I just don't, whom am I supposed to root for in this movie? That was her backstory. I know it's emotional. I still think that the Flashpoint paradox is better than this. Are you going to say that this movie is just as flawed as the theatrical cut of Justice League? Oh no, this is a complete movie. It's just I don't know who to root for here. There's nothing for the Justice League to bring justice to. Who's the villain in this movie? Those machines? There's that thing again, but that thing is not a main villain. Again, who am I supposed to root for? I don't know. In the other Justice League movies, at least I know who I could root for. Here, I don't know who to root for. It's not like this Justice League is they're good. They're not because they kill people. They got people killed. So I'm very conflicted. Because with beautiful red hair, who else are you going to think of? Madeline Petch, Karen, or Jessica Chastain? Amy Adams already did a DC movie, and she wasn't the right choice because Lois is not a redhead; she's a brunette. Seriously, people just die here for no reason. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're almost an hour in, so we're almost done. Mm-hmm. The multiverse. Excuse me. Mhm. Legacy, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's what's coming out next year. On on Letterbox, it's just called Superman, but I'm going to call it Superman Legacy because that was the title they were using for the movie. So it doesn't sound like the 1978 version. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't look like Superman. Where's the cape? Where's the tights? Where's the red and blue? Nowhere to be found in this movie. We're almost an hour in. We're 54 minutes in. It's pretty short. That's the good thing about it. It's not overly long, but like I said, some of the dialogue and the storytelling is, it's there. But I just wish there was someone to root for here because there's not these characters that are major characters in the comics just die so quickly, and I'm like, phew. The human characters don't stand a chance against the Justice League. And this isn't the crime syndicate. It's I used to have this on DVD, but I'm going to donate it eventually because the Spanish language and the cringe dialogue are one of the things that hurt the film. Yeah, that, and also there's nobody to really root for here. They don't look like the characters from the thing. I know this is a different storyline, but I prefer the classic Justice League over this. I didn't think much of Becca when I first saw it. I like her voice and her red hair, but that's about it. I there's not, Diana's just much more human. And also her wearing a helmet, I like Diana's tiara instead. The actress isn't even a redhead. She's a black Canadian woman with dark hair. So they couldn't even get that right. I just don't like this Superman. I think he's the worst part of the movie because Benjamin Bratt's voice is it's fine, but the Spanish and him, his look, I don't care for it. I just don't. I wish it was better, but again, this is not the typical Justice League movie. At least Justice League Dark, I had Batman in that. Half of the characters I didn't know, but at least I had Batman. Here it's like, yeah, it's a one watch for me. This is the second time I'm watching it, so there won't be a third. There's not even any special features. Nope, she's a robot or alien. It's just there's nobody to root for because this is supposed to be the Justice League, and they're not. You don't root for them here because they're dark and gritty. And I know Batman's supposed to be like that, but not Superman and Wonder Woman. He can bleed. See, I guess the kryptonite doesn't kill him because Zod wasn't killed by kryptonite. And there's no Supergirl here. There's no Flash. There's no Green Lantern. It's very unfamiliar territory for me. But I'm glad I watched it. For this podcast, I'm glad I got to do it once here. But it's not one that I would need to rewatch every time. It's a one or two watch for me. And this movie's somber. Like it doesn't have jokes or anything. It's just dead serious. Batman Ninja was very dark too, but it also had the Joker, who was who lightened things up a little bit in the movie. Tony Hale's voice was great. There's someone to root for there. Batman and Robin, all the Robins, and the monkey. It's a redheaded Wonder Woman. I would have her friends with Diana. Yeah, that would be cool. She looks like Emma Frost. I gotta have someone to root for. And the Eternals, I had no one to root for either because you have all these OP characters I don't care about. So who am I supposed to root for? The villain? Icarus is the villain. That bootleg Superman is the villain, and I don't care about him. He's a Scottish actor that's even worse than James McAvoy. At least Karen can act. Ewan McGregor can act. Gerard Butler can act, but that guy's like just stone face for the whole movie, and I'm like, really? There is no Justice League. This movie is a different Justice League. It's like a baseball team or a basketball team. If there's someone I don't care about, who am I supposed to root for? I don't know. It's a good question. The voice acting is not the problem with the movie. I think the voice acting's fine, but some of the dialogue and, like I said, the storytelling is a bit rushed. It's like, oh, they can't have these major characters be the Justice League, so they have to kill them off. That's a stupid idea. Ever Carlton, I would love to see her in a big in a theatrical release again, like with Little, because she was young there. She was a teeny bopper there, but now she's a woman and sexy. There, I said it. There's nothing else I would say about it. An hour in, I don't know who to root for. I really wish I could tell you guys, but even seeing this a second time, that's the problem with the big problem with this DC movie. There's not really a light-hearted team that could fight them. There really isn't. How much battery power do I have left? I got 31%. Yeah, an hour and 2 minutes. Hmm. I agree with you, John. This film had the same problem that some of the DC movies have with it. Be lighthearted. Also, I don't mind it being dark, but when they have to kill half of the characters, that's a cop out. It's like X-Men: The Last Stand, where they don't know what to do with certain characters, so they just sideline them or kill them off. It didn't add anything to the movie. It took me out of the movie. Like once they killed Xavier, I was like kind of checked out of X-Men: The Last Stand because you didn't need to kill him off. He's a major character. And these robots are not these black uh alien things that come from the portals. They're not interesting. They don't have personality. That's the thing. The movie needed more personality. That's what I gravitate more towards personality. So who am I supposed to root for here? I don't know who the good guys are and none of the bad guys are. They didn't make that clear here. I know these alien things are, but they killed half the characters and they don't have personalities. They're just big empty husks. You know? At least in Injustice and these other ones, that's a cool punch. Even in the death of Superman, at least I had Superman to root for in that. Not every DC animated movie is a home run. This was a base hit, if you will, but not a home run. Not Ninja was definitely a home run. If they make Caitlyn sexy and adorable at the same time as a heroine, yeah, but not. But in live action, I really want to see that. Watch it at least twice, but give her a character I'd be in love with. Redheads can sell something, yeah. He could regenerate. Whoopee. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine do that too. They could heal. See? It's too brooding. There's no Flash in this movie, not once. They didn't have to focus on the Flash, but he's not even here at all. That's why I like the Lego DC movies because they're much lighter and they don't get this somber. They don't have characters dying left and right. A lot of the cursing feels forced because it's PG-13 that they feel like they have to, but I'm like, people die too quickly in this movie. I know it's only 76 minutes long, but we're an hour and 8 minutes in. Almost done. Here we go. Hmm. And it's only three people. What Justice League team only has three people? They're supposed to be a big, like at least 5 or 6 people. The Teen Titans are not three. There's at least five. Caitlyn, the other animation or live, it would be fun. As I said, it depends on the character. Seeing a redhead and a black guy together, I gotta give girl movies and girls a chance. Yep, he turned to dust again. Thanos did it better. Magnus, yeah, I don't even know who that is. And they underuse people like Dark Side and other characters. Yeah. No, the Inhumans are another team. Okay, the only joke in the movie, an hour and 10 minutes in. Too late to put humor in this movie. The movie's already almost over. He looks more like Mr. Sinister. This Batman looks more like Mr. Sinister than Batman. without the cow. She does have pretty hair. You're cute. Is Rover? What the hell does that mean? The past is like another planet? I don't know what that line means, guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, the dialogue is a little bit iffy. But that was Justice League Gods and Monsters. I'm glad I watched it again, but I don't need to own it. It's something you can watch once, and I think you'll be good. Because really, it's not the connected Justice League that you're used to. I'm fine with a change. I mean, the Injustice is a different storyline, but there's people to root for there. Here, there's not much. It's just it's a one-off movie. That's why it never got a sequel. The Death of Superman did. It got Reign of the Superman, which I still need to watch. But thanks for watching, you guys. Acknowledge me, and I'll see you guys in the next podcast in a couple of days. I'm taking a break tomorrow. If I were a creator of this movie, I would rather put it in humor like the 5 minutes into the film. Yeah, not at the very end. It's just it felt a little bit flat. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See ya. End.